try to do the Hagrid's ride again because it said on the app that the wait time was 2 hours. And I thought that's not too bad, because yesterday it was a 4-hour wait, but I only waited an hour and a half. So I figured, okay, maybe half the time, maybe I only wait an hour. I paid for a locker and everything, and then I went over and I was like, is the single rider open? And they're like, we don't know. How do you not know? You work here. But what I did is I went ahead and got in line. Now, keep in mind, I got in line yesterday and did the whole thing and found out after the fact that the single rider was not open, and I had actually gone through the real line, like up until the point I came back to the single rider and then they opened it. So I had basically wasted like a good hour of my time yesterday. Well, today I get up there because I don't know if it's open or not, because they don't know if it's open or not. I get up there and I realize the line stopped even further back than it did yesterday. And I was like, nope, single rider line is definitely not open. Otherwise, I would not be standing this far back. So I end up leaving it. I feel like the park should do a better job of the single rider line. Either you have a walkie-talkie and you radio and let people know if it's open or not, and then there's no clear signs to tell people where to go with it. So you gotta fix that. That's a hot mess, and that's a good way to really piss people off. But since I had paid for the locker, I decided to go through the Forbidden Journey, which is inside the Hogwarts Castle. I've done it before in Hollywood, but I figured since I've paid for the locker, I might as well ride something. Flight of the Hippogriff has had long rides, like long ride times, this whole time, so I didn't even attempt that. The Forbidden Journey was only 30 minutes. I did the single rider and was able to get like directly on. It was maybe 10-minute wait. I will say though that the ride was calibrated weird. I've rode this ride 20 times between, here now and Hollywood. I've rode it so many times. So I know what to expect. And I feel like this was calibrated really oddly, where when you would, tilt and be kind of facing the ceiling, you over tilted. You were like almost to the point you were almost upside down. And you couldn't see a whole lot. So yeah, that was a little disappointing, but luckily it wasn't my first time riding it. From there, I wrote down where I went from there because it's just kind of all over the place today. From there, I got on the train and came over to Universal Studios, which is where I'm at now, because I tried to do the Pterodon Flyers. It's in the kids section, in the Jurassic Camp kids section, and technically it's a kids ride. I didn't realize that. But the wait time for that was like an hour or like 70 minutes. I was like, no, not for a kids ride. No, thank you. So I took the train and I came over here to Universal Studios to go back through Diagon Alley because Diagon Alley is new to me. I've been through Hogsmeade and Hollywood several times, so that's nothing new. But Diagon Alley, I definitely want to go back through again. I spent my time going through the stores there, ended up not buying anything, and then I did a lot of the spells. I actually completed one of the adventures and did a lot of the spells, which was nice. I got a butterbeer. It was relaxing. From there, I went to the Men in Black ride, got the locker. For that ride, it was okay. It was okay. I feel like it's a little dated. It does spin you around a good bit. Like, there was 2 times, I think, during it, like, it just kept spinning. I was like, bleh. But you basically sit there, it's a row of 4 people, and you sit there and you have these little guns and you're like blasting the aliens. It would be a lot of fun for little kids, but for adults it's okay. Then I decided to do the ET ride. Now, the ET ride is in the kiddie section where like the Trolls and DreamWorks and all of that is located. All the kids' rides are kind of located together. They have a little water park area there for Kung Fu Panda. But I decided to do the ET ride. Now, the ET ride is super old. I swear to you, I think that ride opened when Universal Studios opened decades ago, because I remember as a child riding the ET ride. They have changed it a little. When the ride opened, they had fog in there, and it was not a pleasant experience. The fog made it stink really bad, a lot of humidity, and so everybody's body odor started coming out. That's what I remember as a kid, was the smells from ET. That's how bad it was. It was burned into my brain. And now they don't have that. They don't have the fog, thank goodness. That ride is also dated. It's a cute ride for little kids. They're gonna love it. You can take your backpack in there. They just have you hang your backpack on the handlebars of your bicycle. So you can take your backpack in there, but the ride is dated. It tells, cute little story and everything as you're going along, but a lot of the animatronics are kind of old and sad and just really need to be overhauled. I feel like the story, E.T. can still continue on. Like, don't take the ride away, just update the animatronics in there, and then I think you'll be good. So right now it's a little after 3 o'clock, and I found out I have a friend, actually it's an old roommate of mine, her and her family, when we were roommates, she was single, now she's married and has a kid. They are in Orlando right now, and so they have agreed to meet me at City Walk for dinner, and she made a reservation at 5:30 at Vivo Italian Restaurant. So I have about 2 hours to kill. Now, that's not gonna really give me time to get on a ride. It's not gonna give me a whole heck of a lot of time to do a whole heck of a lot. I could just go ahead and walk into City Walk. I thought about taking the train back over to Islands of Adventure and trying to do a lot of the spells in Hogsmeade, but I don't think I'm gonna have time because the wait time for the train is like a good hour. So I'm kind of debating about what I'm gonna do. I may just, walk over to City Walk and explore City Walk, but we shall see, and I will take all of you guys with me. So I am back at the Airbnb. After I got off of the ET ride, I looked to see about taking the train, the Hogwarts Express, back over to Islands of Adventure. And it was going to be like a 70-minute wait time. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I just walked it. I walked out of Universal Studios, kind of along, there's a little pathway along to connect the two parks, and then I walked into Islands of Adventure. Once I got in there, I ended up going to the Hogsmeade, the Harry Potter part of that park, and doing a bunch of the spells there. I was like, I didn't have time to stand in line to get on any of the rides, and I didn't want to be late meeting my friend and her family for dinner. So I did a bunch of the spells and the adventures inside Hogsmeade there. And then I walked back out of the park into City Walk and waited for my friend to arrive. Got to meet her and her husband and her son. Hadn't seen her in at least a decade. So it was really nice to be able to catch up with her. So shout out to Savannah and her husband and her son. They were just a lovely family. And so yeah, I ended up taking a lift back here to the Airbnb. Right now it is almost 8:30, which is pretty early for me, but I'm tired. I did a lot of walking, but not near as much walking as I did yesterday. Now granted, I did not ride all the rides I was missing. There are some rides that I have rode before because of being at Universal Hollywood, but there are some that I have not rode because they don't exist in Universal Hollywood. But then again, I'm not going to ride them. So water rides, I don't ride because I don't want to walk around soaking wet all day. That's just gross. I've done that before as a kid. I don't want to do it as an adult. So I try not to do water rides. And there is a lot of rides for kids here, which is great. You know, Universal Hollywood, there's not a whole lot of rides for kids. It is kind of geared toward adults. But between these two parks, it seems like there's a whole lot for kids. Now, it does seem like Epic Universe may be geared toward more adults. Yay, let's hope, fingers crossed. But I've basically rode everything that I wanted to ride. So, but I still have a whole nother day, which is tomorrow. I'm probably gonna sleep in again tomorrow to try and recuperate, let my body rest, because I need to be fully rested for 2 days at Epic, because I'm gonna go hard those 2 days and try and cram in everything. So I'll probably sleep in again tomorrow, and when I go back to the park tomorrow, my goal is to try and ride Hagrid's Magical Creatures again and the Velocicoaster, because those two rides are just that cool. I definitely want to experience them again. But that's going to mean me waiting in long lines and having to pay for the locker again. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's like a 24% chance of rain. Hopefully the park won't be as busy, but then again, they may close down some of the rides because of that. So we're going to play it by ear tomorrow. If you have any questions about everything from today, feel free to leave it in the comments below and I will get to them as soon as I can. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to know when the video for tomorrow comes out, subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video, where it will be day 4 of this trip. But until then, bye.